Hi everyone, it's Abby and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a little catch up with you. I feel like every end of summer I do these videos to kind of debrief with you how summer went, and I think this year is going to be a little bit more special because earlier in September, the first week of September, I went on a road trip in the US for the first time, and I have everything here. We're going to be unpacking them. I actually labeled it. I don't know if you can see it. Road trip. And if you haven't yet, I actually published a road trip video diary the week before this, so make sure to check that out. Apart from that, I want to talk to you about my journal system, how I've managed to keep up with journaling while at the trip, and just share with you a couple of ideas and inspiration in case you are traveling soon, you're going on a road trip, or you want to know how I kind of sort things after a trip. It's always like this constant state of being overwhelmed because it is a long trip. I was gone for 3 weeks. The road trip was 1 week, but the week before that, I was at the SF Pen Show teaching workshops. So if you were there, it was lovely to meet you. I hope you had a great show. I'll share more about that soon. I definitely filmed a couple of videos and we'll put out some vlogs in the future. And then the week after the road trip, I was in SoCal spending some quality time with some of my favorite people. So it was really a hodgepodge of trips, all kind of squished in between these past 3 weeks. So I'm slowly just kind of getting back into the groove of things. The weather in Berlin is becoming cold now. I'm very sad about it, but we make do with what we can, and I guess it's time to take out the autumnal outfits. But before that, make sure to keep watching, and this video is sponsored by Skillshare, so more on that later. Also, get a beverage of your choice. I'm having vitamin C because I need to replenish after my trip, and I'm also still getting over jet lag. But yeah, grab a beverage. It's gonna be a meaty one, and let's get started. Okay, before the overwhelm settles in, this is pretty much a hodgepodge of everything I brought for the past 3 weeks. But I want to show you everything I brought. So I did bring 2 pouches. This is my attempt to pack light. I actually already have like my sticker books here, receipts, tape, and these are ink swatches and whatnot that I managed to accumulate from the pen show. I also brought in this folder because I just wanted a place to organize some of my ephemera. As you can see, it's still not organized, but these are some ephemera and cards from the pen show and my time in north of California, NorCal. I even have like Madewell cut up here. I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but it's all in this folder. In front, I utilized the pen case area, pen slot area, because I bought fine liner pens, Sakura Micron pens. If you're wondering about the pouch, this is actually an old collab I did with a Philippine brand called Badass Tote Girl. It's no longer available, unfortunately. But yeah, I've been using this for like, I don't know, like 3 years now. It's been really, really useful for my travels. And then this one is a pouch I designed for rickshaw a while back. I don't think it's available as well, but this is an A5 size pouch. Right now I have my traveler's notebook passport here. I'll show you more in a bit. And then everything here is, I don't know, what else do I have here? I'm kind of embarrassed to show you because it's really a mess, and this is the reality of what my travel journal kit looks like after a trip. So I have this envelope full of Instax photos. I had some photos printed at Michelle's place while I was with her, was staying at her place, and some photos from the road trip, stopovers, stuff like that. Here, I always bring a clear A6 size envelope for no particular reason, but more often than not, a lot of the ephemera managed to end up here, as well as some sticker sheets I had brought. I also have stickers, more stickers. I also tore up this part of the brochure because this is the Mesa Verde National Park. I think I even have, yeah, this is like a mix of ephemera. I also have from DQ, Two Hands Peppery. This is a partner shop in Boulder, Colorado. And then DQ wrapper, A&W. I love their onion rings, by the way. This is a card from City of Industry. It's a stationery shop and gift shop in Salt Lake City. I tore off part of this IHOP brochure because we went to IHOP, so this is definitely going in my travel journal. I requested for this from Trader Joe's, so they already had the fall stickers. I already used some of them. I already used the apple cider donuts one. By the way, it's really good. If you are in the US, go get them. But yeah, I asked for some stickers. And then I also have some leftover stickers that I designed. I want to show you for Sailor and the SF Pen Show. So we designed a seal holding a very cute Sailor pen that I personally have. I chose this pen. I was like, it's the one going on this sticker. I also brought clear stamps just in case, and stamp pad inks. I'm always like bringing extra just in case I need anything. Unfinished stickers. These are from Everyday Explorers Co. And then these ones, I always bring these prompt and icon stickers. I think they're just really useful when it comes to travel journaling. For my main travel journal setup specifically for the road trip, I had no plans at all, but I was planning to buy this road trip cover from Travelers Company USA, and it was gifted to me. Thanks, Job. So it was gifted to me by one of my good friends, Job, and while I was staying at his place, he finally put in these charms that Jackie gave me. So they are from Rocky Mountain and Death Valley, although we didn't go to Death Valley. But yeah, he was like, why aren't you putting it yet? I'm like, I'm too lazy. I'm just not great at DIYing, which I'll talk more about that later because I have patches that I bought. But this was my main cover. Admittedly, I did not use it during the trip because I was just really busy, and I actually came up with a different solution to how I've been able to document on the go. So the road trip cover is brown, and then the design on it is like a nice bronze color. It's similar to the Traveler's Hotel, which came out a couple of years ago. Inside, it contains this insert. So this is the insert that comes with the cover, and it's actually in craft paper. So this is what it looks like. I have not filled up at all. I only stuck this National Park Geek sticker that was left over from a sticker that I used. So it was nice to have this, but I realized I just couldn't reach for it and fill it up halfway when I'm not journaling on the go. Usually I do that, but for this trip I was kind of on the fence of journaling on the go, but I did a compromise. So this is my passport size. Unfortunately, during my trip, I didn't have this. Someone took it home, which I'm not very happy about. Accidentally took it home from the workshops. I had them send it back to me. So I managed to get it luckily before I left the US. So here is my main travel journal that I was bringing throughout my road trip. The reason being, it was portable enough, and I had this small bag that I could put this in and stamp this whenever I'm visiting a visitor center. So I ended up having my first page full of these stamps, which I think is my favorite part of this journal insert so far. But as you can see, there are some photos, alternate, stamps, notes that I've yet to write, unfinished drawings. These are some signs from Route 66. I think this was a nice way to kind of capture the trip and making it really like compact. So I actually managed to finish it. I just need to fill it up more and add more, like paint more, fix it up a little bit. But this was like a summarized, condensed, quick version of what I'm about to journal here. Before we continue, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives with classes that range from different topics from art and design, illustration, photography, and journaling as well. Did you know that I have a class on Skillshare? I published it earlier this year entitled Everyday Journaling: 5 Creative Ways to Document Your Life. One of the things that kept me going throughout the road trip, as you might have known, that being in a road trip means you're always on the go. It's hard to foster habits, but one thing I was very diligent about was every night I would prop up on my desk, write about the day, journal about it, and close it up and do it, rinse and repeat process. I think this has kept me accountable throughout the week that I was away. I made sure to bring my chunky journal as part of my travel journal system because this is also traveling with me. I think with this kind of habit, it's really important to lock in and be able to figure out a system that works for you. And hopefully through my class, you'll be able to nurture the habit and find prompts that will be easy for you to update on the go, especially while you're traveling. The first 500 people to click the link in my description or scan the QR code will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. So while I was on my road trip, I also brought my everyday journaling system. If you haven't checked it out, I do have a more comprehensive video about that. I brought my Hobonichi Tetra with me and my fountain pens, so they are unintentionally matchy. I also want to give a shout out to Ariel Toasty for giving me this nuts keychain. I was like, it's so cute. So we have a little club, it's called the Nuts Club. So we all own the Sailor Manyo Pro Gear Slim Nuts pen. And so I think this was gifted to me a while back, but Job safe kept it for me. So it's now on my Galen leather zip case. So this was what I brought for my overall trip to the US. I had to pick 4 pens, and these were the 4 ones I picked. I wanted to bring a variety of pens I already know and love and also try out new pens. So these 2 are new Sailors. They were gifted to me by Sailor North America, both in medium nib. This one is in gourd. This is a Pro Gear Slim Manyo. I love the color. It's orange, it's green, we have a gold trim. I think it's just pretty. It's the perfect pen for me. This one is the Sally pen. It's a Sailor and Line Friends collaboration pen, and I super love how this just shines. It's very summery, and look at the finial with Sally's face on it. Really, really cute. And then you have probably seen me bring this all around. This is my Pilot Custom 823, my OG Grail pen, and I try to bring this with me everywhere I go. I don't know, I think it's the most well-traveled pen I have so far. And luckily these pens don't have really any issues when I'm flying. No spillage, no chaotic ink happenings as far as I can remember. This is the Twisby Eco Cream, and I have this in extra fine. This is fine nib, by the way. So yeah, I wanted to bring a variety also because of the ink colors. Like this one is like with a bluish ink, green, yellow, and an orange. So I think it's like pretty much, it covered all of the bases that I needed. For my daily journal, I managed to update it regularly while I was on the trip. This is something I've been more accountable to be doing because when I was in London, I didn't update it. I've probably shown you some pages. I just left this at home and I feel really bad because I already know what to write. I just didn't have... I wasn't so excited to write after the trip. I was so busy doing the journaling part on my travel journal that I kind of neglected the daily part of it. So I'd rather that I update the daily journal first and then refer back to that on my travel journal instead of the other way around, if that makes sense. So during the trip, it was the start of September, so I was kind of using up whatever I had in my stash. I think it's a good way to also be how you say, like, resourceful with what stationery you have with you. I tend to bring a lot of things that are kind of in the same colorway either way. Like for this one, we have this like blue and green situation. I also tried to paint on some of the pages, so this was my attempt to paint. I was really struggling to paint the Arches National Park. I think you can see it from here. It's just not a usual subject for me to paint this kind of landscape. So this was a better, more refined version of it. But this was my first attempt, then this was my second attempt, and this was my third attempt. I think the key is to have less inking and more of the colorway painted on it. And I also painted the Waffle House logo here. I tried to not paint too much on my Hobonichi because it does wrinkle the paper. So I just tried it for this particular spread. And then using the stickers I already had, like alphabet stickers, it's very easy for me to just pick up like, okay, what are the key highlights of the day? For example, here we went to Rocky Mountain National Park, so RMNP. We were pretty much exploring, so I figured like a cute sticker with a map was there. And then I think I just cut this up from a packaging from a bookstore, and we were still in Colorado, so it made sense to use that one. Towards the end of the trip, I was also just using a black fountain pen because sometimes you just gotta keep it simple. So as long as I was able to update, I think that was fine. I also luckily kept some stickers that Job gave me, Route 66. And then this one, we were outdoors, so it just had that similar energy of like, okay, outdoors, we're gonna use blue. Here, we're gonna use yellow. And then these were for the next couple of days that I was still in the US. I don't know, I just keep it simple. I think, yeah, I probably used Job's pen in one of these. It was a good excuse to use his pens because we rarely get to hang out anyway. But yeah, I've still kept up with the habit. I think in the end, that is the most important part of this. And I'm glad that it has given me a lot of incentive to just pull this out every night, write on it, and be able to update it whenever I can. Okay, last but definitely not the least, I didn't sort this yet, so we're just gonna take what we can and see how I'll be able to show you everything that I got. First things first, we have some patches here. So the patches, I want to add them to my cover. And it's gonna be tricky. I have to figure out the placement. Jackie did give me her fabric glue, so I'm gonna use that. A lot of you were asking how I was able to put in like these patches. I used super glue. I don't think it's the best solution, but I mean, it's been stuck there for a while, so I think it's fine. This is the Kyoto bus, actually. I got this from Kyoto. For this one, I wanna do fabric glue. So I picked up a bunch of patches. Let's see. Did I have 4? Yeah, if I do have one there, it'll probably show up. But let's start with this one. This is the Rocky Mountain National Park, Old Fall River Road. Unfortunately, we didn't pass through this, but I did like the color. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this one. And then I also picked up the Colorado National Monument pouch. I also picked up the Colorado National Monument patch. I think the colors were just really pretty and I found the shape really interesting. When I pick out souvenirs, stickers, or whatnot, I'm very picky with how it's designed because I always like to see things. I like seeing things that I like in general. So I know that these are going on my cover, so I needed to make sure that I would love to see them all the time. I also picked these up in every visitor center that we went to, so I had to make sure that they kind of match, you know, like green, some kind of warm tones. And then this one, Jackie gave this to me. I think she got it at the Boulder bookstore because I was hanging out with some friends. But it's so pretty. I love the lettering. And I think this is the forest sign. I've seen it while we were driving around. So I think this is an homage to that. And then, of course, I needed to get a Route 66 patch from... I think this was either in Seligman or at one of the random gift shops we stopped over while we were in Arizona on our last day while we were in Route 66. I also got this enamel pin. I also got this pin. This is the collector's pin from Mesa Verde National Park. I love the typography and the graphics. I also was very mindful because when you go to these visitor centers and gift shops, it's always the usual stuff. They have a patch, they have a pin, they have stickers, they have postcards. So it's depending on your preference. If you get all of them, you get one of each. I figured I wanted to get pins in places that I really enjoyed and had a very good memory of, which is Mesa Verde and of course Route 66. I also was very particular because I wanted this particular style of artwork from the national parks. So this is from WPA, which I'll talk more about later. This is the hotel card from Americana. It was a super nice hotel, very retro inspired, and the branding and typography were great. And then these ones, so if you go to a lot of national parks, you'll probably see these series. These are the travel stamps ones, and I think you affix it in the passport, if I believe so. Boulder, Sacramento, Arches National Park, and the Great Sand Dunes. This is the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. It was really sad going there because a section of the park was actually burned down from the wildfires. Got this from Denver. I think that's my only souvenir from Denver. I love my greetings from cards, so I got this one as a little reminder that we went to Denver for like an hour. I got, yeah, this is the bookstore, Tattered Cover Bookstore. I got a National Park Geek sticker because I am an official National Park Geek now. And then this one is pretty much in the same category as these ones, this Ranger of the Lost Art. This one used to be the old logo type or the window stickers as it showed here. It was proof of admission. I bought this sticker of Boulder, actually from the Celestial Seasonings Factory. This one I got in Coronado. I think the retro style just really spoke to me. And then for Arches, I also picked up, this is from Roaming Heart Design. I couldn't decide which particular sticker to get from the Arches National Park because they all look like the same arches, right? And then I figured something like this that was very abstract would be nice. So I took something a bit more, this is something I wouldn't usually get, but I decided to pick this up because of the abstract and like the different shades of red that you can see on the sticker. There are a lot. This is a card from Pig Train Coffee in Denver. This was also in the Union Station. And they were kind enough to give me stickers. I asked for some stickers, so I have them here. Another sticker from the Colorado National Monument featuring a blue jay. I really like the font and the line art being blue instead of black. That's why I picked this one up. Route 66 things. So these ones, this was from the hotel that we stayed in. Americana Motor Hotel. And then this one was from an A&W in Route 66, which I think was a lovely souvenir to have. And then at the Celestial Seasonings Factory, they of course had merch. I got tea, but I also picked up this Sleepy Time Bear sticker. He was very cute. So I figured, you know what, let's take one. So this was from Carnado. I really like the retro signs as well. It had a very good, I think, how many times have I said retro in this video? But yeah, this was really nice as well. And then this was the brand of the charms that Jackie gave me. Coffee sleeve from Kind Coffee in Estes Park. Outside the coffee shop, there's a lovely view of the water and some trees, so I managed to keep the coffee sleeve. And then I also picked up this sticker from, this was not part of the road trip, but this was from Carlsbad when I visited Michelle. After much debating, I got a smaller sticker from Mesa Verde. I wanted something that really emphasized the architectural sites that they built, but not also overpowering too much. So these are the postcards and prints I got. Oh, I still have another sticker. I didn't know I got two. Anyway, I guess I got two. This one I picked up from Utah. This was just from City of Industry, and you know I love the greetings from cards, and this is actually smaller inside. These ones are the iconic ones that you will probably see a lot of when you look up vintage postcards. So I got the Rocky Mountain one. I basically tried to find this in every visitor center, and they had it at Rocky Mountain. Great Sand Dunes. I do love the color choices for the Great Sand Dunes with like this blue and brown combination. And then this is my favorite, the Mesa Verde one, because of the pop of bright green, which is really, really nice and contrasting to the overall color scheme of the park. So I stamped them at the back from the visitor center since I was there anyway. I bought extra of these that I gifted to friends and sent out. So I'm gonna read what it says here. So these are from WPA, Works Progress Administration, and the artists are Doug Lean and Brian Mabus. Between 1935 and 1943, the WPA's Federal Art Project printed over 2 million posters in 35,000 different designs to steer the public's imagination for education, theater, health, safety, and travel. Due to their fragile nature, only 2,000 posters have survived. This contemporary design illustrates many of the WPA-era posters, including those of our national parks. So I believe they were probably traditionally made and then they just rendered it digitally. But I have a bunch of these, like, from friends as well. I think I have a Big Bend one and a Joshua Tree one. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I just want to have them, actually, even just for design reference. I didn't have it in the Arches National Park, which was sad, but I picked up the one that spoke to me the most. I really love the shadow play here and the sun coming through the arches, so I got this one at the visitor center. And then this was such a lovely present from Courtney, who I met up with. She gave me this card, and I think this was the artist, Liesl Canon. Next up, I want to talk about the Unigrid system. This is something really interesting. I'm gonna link the info down below. I think the designer in me geeked out hard, because when we first went to Arches, Jackie was like, oh, you have to get a map. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a map. And then in my head, I was like, oh, I could use this as ephemera and tear it up. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that, because these maps are gorgeous, first of all, and they are built in the same format. It's called a Unigrid for every single national park that you visit in the US. The illustration is different, the design is different, but the size is the same and the font is the same. This is probably my favorite from Mesa Verde. It's painted so beautifully. So every time I went to the visitor center, I would ask the ranger for a copy of the Unicrid. So this was what we ended up getting. So for example, this one, the orientation is different. Oh, actually this one's also pretty. I love the font that they used here. But yeah, I think it's a nice like compact way to learn more about the parks and just a little tidbit of everything that you need to know while exploring. So this is the Cliff Palace. It's a little bit more information about this particular part of the Mesa Verde National Park. And I picked this up. This was a suggested donation. It's $1. I will definitely read this. But this was interesting because Mesa Verde was inhabited by the Spanish Pueblo, so I was reading a lot about them. And then there was a section in the museum that they had pottery, which I found really interesting, like the different styles they developed, what they used these vessels for, food they harvested, how they constructed these structures, like how were the rooms built. What else do I have here? Some miscellaneous maps I picked up. This is probably from Denver. Yeah, I already cut up a portion of it. I picked it up from downtown Denver. And then this one was from Rocky Mountain. They already had the Unigrid, but this is like a bigger version that I figured I would be using for my travel journal. And it's massive. This was like a brochure from the hotel that we stayed in. Again, the graphics are really, really nice. So worth keeping. And I love the print style that they approached with this. So when it came to stamping for the national parks, I did have this notebook, as I mentioned. So I did like a layering effect, but I was going to still update my main travel journal. So Jackie gave me some, she's like really built for this. She gave me sticker sheets. And so these are the stamps I managed to collect from the road trip. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut it up and then stick it on my travel journal. But my favorite has to be the Arches National Park one, because they had so many options. Like they had these ones, a smaller one, a larger one, just the regular one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you'll see that the colors are different because of the geographical location. So if you're in California, the stamps are green. I think the Rocky Mountains is the only one that has like the black ones, but Mesa Verde was also, and the Great Sand Dunes were also in this like kind of yellow ochre-y color. So I guess that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to give a shout out to Charlie. She pitched this idea to me to do an unpack with me after a trip. We were talking about it and I didn't have time to actually show you what I'm bringing to my road trip. Also, my setup did change once I got to SF after the pen show. So I had to like fiddle around and figure out how to share this with you. But I love to chat in the comments and talk about ephemera, post-trip journaling. I'm still knee deep into, wow, hello sun. I'm still working on my main travel journal for this road trip, so I'm still kind of on the fence on how I'm gonna approach that. I definitely will give myself some time to work on it and I'll show you once that's done. It'll be an interesting process because I have a craft insert and also I want to approach travel journaling different this time. I think it's also a good incentive for me because I am going to be working on a new Skillshare class soon, so make sure to check that out. And thank you once again to Skillshare for partnering with me on this video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your year ahead. I'll see you online. I'll probably put out weekly videos from here on out because there are a lot of hot topics that we need to talk about, like planner and journal review, unboxing my Hobonichi. I have some ink related videos a lot of you requested, so I'm kind of like putting everything together, figuring out how all that is gonna go into the YouTube channel. So watch this space and I'll see you when I see you online. Take care everyone, always be creating. Bye.